Come one, come all. Special shout out to this user for the video idea. He was persistent to make sure I made this video. So now here it is. Most, if not all, of the movement tech in Destiny 2. In this video, we will be going over many speed/movement tech actions that are available to us. For if you're trying to be the most goated Destiny 2 speedrunner, or just trying to farm activities and want to cut down on the time in said activity. Of course, a lot of that is divided into many small segments that make up the whole run, but for now we will just be going over the movement based ones and giving you a complete guide to the movement tech in Destiny 2. Bonus note, we will be going over all of this with a controller. For my mouse and keyboard users, I will actually link a G-Miners video that will go over most if not all of these same points, but from a mouse and keyboard perspective. So getting into it. Getting into the bread and butter for the Warlocks, it will be the Icarus dash paired with the burst glide. Tried and true, of course. We will be using this line as a reference for distance. So what I see a lot of people doing is, right, we'll get a running start here, they'll jump and then just Icarus dash. And you can get to about the stairs, as you can see from that line. So it's like not a bad distance, but it can definitely be better. And we're about to show you better. So by getting a head start, putting the burst glide into the Icarus dash, and then Icarus dashing. Obviously, as you can tell, we are double the distance. Now to further explain that, it will be jumping, Icarus dashing. I know it looks like, and I see some people kind of get confused when I explain it to them. They think it's you jump, activate burst, deactivate burst, then Icarus. It's not that. That's not what you're doing. You're jumping, activating, Icarusing. No deactivating the burst glide, okay? Hopefully I'm not confusing you yet. So we are starting off easy, obviously. Burst Icarus dashing is not a hard concept to grasp. I'm sure you all will learn it pretty much right now. I'm pretty sure you've already mastered it just by watching this. But it also pairs nicely with Eager Edge. So what I see, this is what I see most of people doing. So they pull out their Eager, they'll swing, then they'll just Icarus right out of the Eager, right? So we made it to this guy right here. That's all we're seeing. We're gonna do the same Icarus dashing with burst gliding that we just learned right now, and we're gonna see how far we can get. See? Much further. Now, of course, this one does come with a bit of a twist. The twist not being a very difficult one, but a twist nonetheless. The twist is you have to put your sword away. So the action list is go, pull out your Eager, jump, swing, put your sword away, glide, then Icarus again. Or just Icarus, not again. It all happens pretty fast. Once you get the hang of it, of course, it's the easiest thing under the sun. I know the list that I just went down makes it seem like it's very complicated, but nah. Like, it's night and day. Once you get the hang of it, it's going to be as easy as walking. Alright, getting into the next class that has base movement or just need to know movement, and that would be Titans, but instead of having a subclass requirement, it's actually an exotic requirement. It's with Lion Rampants. So, the movement with Lion Rampants is obviously have a sword. We're going to let Eager Edge run out because you could do this with Eager Edge. It takes a little bit more management to proc it every time, but you can definitely do it. So the rotation is to jump, swipe, then activate, unactivate. I fucked up there, but that is the basic idea. It takes a lot of focus out of me, mainly because I just don't play Titan. So the goal is that you don't want to activate your jump too early. So before I get into it, because it requires me to actually focus, I don't do this at all, but you want to swipe your sword, wait like half a second, let the animation finish, then activate your lift. Don't activate it for too long. There is actually a tempo with this. It's going swipe, jump, stop jumping. That's too long. It's like swipe, jump, stop jumping. Swipe, jump, stop jumping. That's your tempo. So you go jump, swipe, jump, stop jumping. Swipe, jump, stop jumping. Swipe. That's your tempo right there. You gotta let this, the key is, at least for me, I was having trouble learning this. The key is to let your sword animation finish. Like right as it's back up, start your jump. You can make this go on for forever. I'm not sure if that's accurate to say that it could go on forever, but it can get you across like the King's Fall chasm. And if it can get you across that, that's pretty much the only thing, that's the furthest practical use of it. right? It's not quite speed tech, it's not like Shatter-Skating or whatnot, but it is a movement tech that can help you get across some pretty large jumps. Alright, so for the next speed tech, it's actually rocket jumping. Believe it or not, that's in the game. First, you get a rocket. Alright, that didn't quite work out the way we wanted it to. But getting into the actual rocket jumping, believe it or not, it's with mountaintop and it's still a real thing, jokes aside. Okay, so now that jokes are aside, to show you the height that you can get off of this. So we did not have heat rises activated. So yeah, we could not eat our grenade there. Alright, so now actually doing it, to give you some baseline example of the height we can get, we are now going to eat our grenade and then just fly up. And you can tell it's gonna be, yeah, about that one. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right? So now that we have another grenade and we have the baseline of 7 of those things, we're gonna eat another one. And as you can tell, we are way higher. So it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So instead of 7 blinds, we're at 11. And that's because we rocket jumped. You do need mountaintop, unless there is a perk that I just don't know of to where it like explodes pretty much on contact to the ground. Like it doesn't bounce or nonetheless. Don't try it with a real rocket. Though I did hear tales of Danger Zone having some type of knockback ability. And if you can get that to work, you will have a better rocket jump than with mountaintop, for sure. So for our next one, it's actually going to be the Lumina Grapple. And believe it or not, this is the hardest one to do on controller. In the video where we also have Slip-Streaming, yes, Slip-Streaming is like way easier, still hard, but way easier than this on controller, let me tell you. Because we don't have the pinpoint accuracy of mouse, we have to aim down ever so slightly but not overshoot it, and grapple at almost at the same time that we hip fire a Lumina shot. So in pre-editing, because I was so focused on trying to nail it down, I found the most consistent way for controller is to be constantly looking down at a steady rate before you even shoot grapple it. It will counteract the recoil that happens when Lumina gets shot, and it will line you up pretty much to where you could just grapple onto it. It can be macroable, but honestly, doing it this way makes it easier than I thought it was gonna be. It just took a learning curve is all. So sorry to overreact, I guess. Now moving on to another difficult kinda-ish. Once you learn it, it's as easy as walking. I can confirm that actually. But it's actually gonna be Well/Shatter-Skating. So for hunters, and honestly, I think you could say the same for mouse and keyboard, but I was gonna say on controller. We'll get into that in just a little bit. But for right now, obviously have Shatter Dive on, and it's this part right here that I was talking about with the with the mouse and keyboard mixed with the controller. It might be the same, might be different, but what I could tell you on controller is that you have to have your air dive, which is defaulted to a long press. You got to have it just set to press. So where at this point now it's just the second you press it, you just Shatter Dive. That is a necessity. That is not optional. Now, being a G Miners fan, I see it all over his comment section that Shatter-Skating on controller is harder than mouse and keyboard. This is completely inaccurate. It is so night and day easy on controller. Let me tell you. So just getting a close up here real quick. You have your controller, right? This is your heavy, and then you have your jump and your Shatter Dive, right? What you're doing is you're literally just taking your thumb and going, and that's it. Of course, after the heavy though. So by bringing out your sword, heavying, and then just flicking your thumb, you will get this 10 out of 10 times negative diff. It's the easiest version of the skating, I feel. It's just that easy. Once you learn it, it's as easy as walking, trust me. Getting it is not even the hard part. The timing is extremely tight. I guess the learning curve area would be the spacing between the heavy strike, then the X circle smash, you know? But it's literally just heavy X circle. And I'm doing the motion of the flicking of the thumb. So you go heavy X circle. It's almost hit all of them just immediately. Now for Warlock, I'm not gonna say it's easy on controller at all. I'm more than certain on keyboard, the difficulties between the two when it comes to shattering or well skating, they're almost very similar. On controller, it's a little harder because you lost the ability to just flick your thumb across the controller. Now you have to actually like time it and press like 3 different buttons at once. But giving it a go. So boiling it down, it's the same pacing as if you were to do heavy X circle. It's now just heavy X super, okay? So instead of the circle, you're clicking these. Unless you have your super bind to circle for some reason. So one, if you're not a Warlock main, you need to get mentally prepared for trying to time this properly. But you go, and I just hit it first try. It takes mental preparation, but again, once you hit it, right? It's almost as easy as walking. It takes a little bit of a learning curve. Nonetheless, you can do it, and I believe in you. So this one's gonna be a little unorthodox. I'm forgetting what G miners called it, but I think it's called like a well slam, something like that. But it's where you well skate into an angle, and it will shoot you straight up. Now, the more steeper the angle, the better. And when I mean steep, I mean anything less than a wall. So just like that angle. So we're gonna give it a shot here. What you have to do is you have to activate heat rises, and then just well skate. And yeah, we did get some verticality out of that. So it definitely works. You can't get this high with just a normal well skate, so just let that be the proof in the pudding right there. Alright, so now for a movement tech that is very specific. This is not really a technique, this is more of just understanding the jump. It's with blink. You can do this with both Hunter on Arc with blink or Warlock with Void on blink. So this is actually more practical than you think. It's used in 2 scenarios, which isn't a lot, but it's enough to think that maybe you could use it. So getting into it, it's understanding the direction of your trajectory. I'm gonna have a video on screen for you right now. It's gonna either be my solo Templar or it's gonna be a jumping across the chasm bit, but it's actually to take advantage of the insta blink, but making it forward for you instead of up for you. So to give you the best example of this, you gotta jump and you go in like an arc motion, right? You like your jump, it goes up and then it goes down, right? Now, a lot of people, they use it to gain height because they're like, oh, that's what a double jump is for. I'm just gonna gain height. And you do, you gain height. But in a third person perspective, you jump upwards, right? If you were to jump, delay it until your trajectory is flat. So you go up, and at this point where you're about to go down, your trajectory is now forward. You hit blink, it'll send you forward even further. So you go up, and trajectory forward to blink forward. This is used where you need to get to places immediately, but aren't really in the distance to where you can take advantage of eager edge, or you just don't use eager edge at the moment because like a better weapon in your heavy slot is more preferred. So the best way to like counter this would be like if you had the relic in your hands or a sword in your hands, would be just jump, swipe, blink, and boom, you're going straight. Jump, swipe, blink, straight. Right? So nonetheless, now that you understand a little bit of that, you can understand that blink can be used to get you in places very quickly now. It's mainly used for like low mans or whatnot, or just, you know, challenge clears like a solo Templar, which I guess is still a low man. But now you know. Now for this next trick, it's gonna be Sparrow Flying. Not Slip-Streaming, we'll get into that literally right after this, but for right now we'll be doing Sparrow Flying. And you probably noticed I have a controller on the screen. This is going to be showing you pretty much all my controls, because this one's going to be kind of hard to explain. Not this one, but the Slip-Streaming will be. So to get started with Sparrow Flying, it is all about verticality. You can alter it in directions if you wanted to, but it's not going to be much of speed type stuff. It's just verticality. So what you're going to do is you're going to jump all the way up, pull out your Sparrow, and then just side to side. Pretty much. All vertical. I think I hit an invisible roof up there. But you get the point. That one's fairly simple to grasp. Just when you're on a side, go up, right to the other side, then go up again, up. up, up. Wait till you're on your left, then you're on your right, then you're on your left, then you're on your right, then you hit an invisible wall, and then it's over. And I couldn't even kill myself. But you get that point. It's just straight up. Easy stuff. Now, we're going to get into the actual hard one. And this is mainly what the controller on your screen is for, so you can see those keybinds. So, one, I think I need to get practice on this too, actually. Alright, so, the way to do this is I know we're normally playing like this, where we have our 2 index fingers like this. If you're slipstreaming on a controller, you're going to want to like do that. This is my L1, L2. This is my R2. So pretty much the second you're off the cliff, you're just remaining to hit the gas. Don't let go of the gas. This gives you your initial speed, keeps you going. You let go when you're out of juts, left and right juts, but that's essentially all you're doing. So you hit the gas off a cliff, hit the brake as well as the gas, flip up until you see that little corner or whatnot. And then when you're out of gas, I'm pretty bad at it myself, but I know the basic idea. It's all the difference between me and someone who knows how to do this is someone who has got the timing down. So on your Sparrow, there is these 2 little arrows left and right. This is the best Sparrow to do it, not only for the fact that it has the most juts, it has 6 left and right, you can just keep going with this thing, but for the fact that it also has these arrows that are perfect indicators on direction. These arrows point where you want to go. So since I mainly use my left jut, I want that left little wing there to point in the direction I want to go. And if it's pointing upwards, it's going to send you upwards. And if you go upwards, you're going to lose speed, gain height. You don't want to lose speed. You want the nice golden spot that is so hard to hit. So I'm going to give you a clip here where it shows me doing it properly. The only thing I would tell you is that like just read the arrows. These arrows are slightly curved. When I mean that they point where you're gonna go, I mean that in the most literal sense possible. It's kind of hard to gauge, probably because I have bad depth perception, but if the arrow is like flat or not, you want it slightly angled like that. Good luck trying to get that consistent though. And there you have it, fellas. A good amount, if not all, of the movement tech inside Destiny 2. I hope this video has at least informed you a bit. I know I am not the best person to talk about this stuff or even to be teaching to begin with on this, but if my video lacks information of any kind, I'm telling you right now, just go check out G-Miner's video. His is much more thorough. And beyond that video that I have linked in the description, he goes in even more depth with each speedrun, movement tech, whatever, in their own separate videos. So definitely check him out. I know he's too big for a shout out from me, but nonetheless, he's a good source of information. That's all I have for you guys. Take care and peace.